I got for you guys today? Well, we're going to talk about R&B tone. We're going to talk about gear. We're going to talk about other things. So if you're 17-year-olds and chasing your dream, man, like block out the haters. Just like be persistent and go as hard as you can. Be smart about your decisions and you'll make it. You know what I'm saying? Network. Don't take no for an answer. You know what I mean? So what's going on, you guys? I'm just kind of vibing out to this V. Bozeman record, but I'm waiting for more people to get in here and ask me questions. Again, like you guys can ask questions about whatever. We really want to talk about R&B tone and focus in on like gear and maybe specifically like what you can do in order like to get better with your skill or whatever. That's kind of mainly what I want to talk about and address. But I'm gonna play a little bit just because you know I love to play. Oh man, yeah, this is a sweet one, man. It's PRS 513, man. I call this bad boy Denim. You know what I'm saying? From France in the house, showing some love. Really cool. So yeah, I'm gonna play a little bit, let you guys hear what this does. So I'm using 2 pedals. Good evening, good evening. So I'm using the Vertex Dynamic and I'm using the Memory Toy. And I've got everything on. This is on my bridge pickup, and this is on the humbucker. So I'm actually using the humbucker, so you can actually hear. Any advice for guys that play multiple genres? I currently play gospel. Any advice? Be versed in all of the genres. Sound like those genres. Don't play gospel and sound like too much jazz and too much R&B. Vice versa. Like you want to be specific to those genres. You don't want to just be playing too much and it doesn't sound authentic. Be as authentic as possible. Is it important to know a lot of theory? It's not important to know a lot of theory, but you want to know, have a good grasp on it. Like you don't have to be a guru, but like know at least what they're talking about. So when they have the conversation, it's not over your head. You know what I mean? You want to know about what at least is going on. If I wanted to possibly play with you, Keyshawn, just email me carry2smooth@gmail.com, and then we'll take it up from there. All right, cool. It says I'm a beginner. Should I choose a style to focus on in the beginning? I would say in the beginning you just really want to learn the basics, like the chords. You want to learn enough scales so the way you feel versed in what you got going on, so you're not like kind of all over the place. I would suggest that. Also too, for any of you guys that have not subscribed to my YouTube, go ahead and do so. I've got nuggets that I drop like once a week on different songs and just how to approach those different songs. And also, if you haven't signed up to my website, do so. carry2smooth.com. I'm doing great things on there. I've got amazing surprises for you guys that want to learn. Doesn't matter what level you're at. If you're at a beginner level or if you're at an advanced level, I have stuff for all three levels: beginner, advanced, and intermediate. That's a good affordable tube amp for beginner, intermediate. I would say a Fender Hot Rod. You can't go wrong with Fender. It's a great tube amp and it gives you a lot of versatility. All right, here we go. We're gonna play a little bit of V. Bozeman. The song is called Go. Well, first let me let you hear this tone. Alright, cool. So here we're gonna go with the record. And I fathom how often that we go back and forth like a damn factory. can read some of these questions and stuff. Love that PRS. Sounds great. Appreciate it. Been trying to find a good lead tone like that. I'm using the Dynamic by Vertex. It's an amazing pedal. And I've got the Memory Toy for a little bit of delay on there. Let me see what else. Other kind of questions. So what scales do you I use a lot of the pentatonic scale and I use a lot of the major scale. And then with like me having a really good ear, I use a lot of, like, I have a good ear when I hear the melodies. I try to play and embellish the melodies that people like do and what they sing. What's a good intermediate guitar for? I would say if you get a PRS, you can get their SE models. They're really not that expensive. Or a good Strat, you know what I'm saying? Or a good Les Paul. Just something that's not very expensive. I need help with power chords. Just barring. So what you have to do, I would tell you to get like, let me see if I've got one here. Strengthen your hand. Strengthen your hand. And when you're doing those chords, it'll be easier for you to do power chords. All of this is just you barring the whole fret. So power chords, let's get a little... So strengthen that hand muscle when you want to work on those power chords. That's the biggest thing that I would tell you. Cool. What else? Let me see what else is. G. Love that PRS. Cool. Sounds like appreciate it. Freaking dope. How is it possible for you to start playing some simple chords, progression, and develop it into something more complex? Yeah. Stay with me, Sam Smith. Right. This whole walk down is not in the song, but it's cool. Something simple, because I knew what the chords were, and I knew the chords in the scale, I was able to embellish it to make it more. So you can take simple chords and embellish it and make it into way more stuff. Okay. The best way to learn your fretboard when you solo. Use the reference dots on top. I use the reference dots to let me know where I need to go. So I know the first dot on the first string, that's going to be G. I know that this next dot is going to be A, B. So I use the reference dots so you can remember, like while you're playing, while you're learning, where you're trying to remember everything is. Use those reference dots. It's really important. It really helps you out. That's what they're there for. You know what I'm saying? To give you kind of a reference, because sometimes you may forget. Sounds good, beautiful. Appreciate it. Very groovy. What's a good groove to memorize? All right, so what I did is I bought like an old crap guitar way back in the day, and I took like a little small, one of those ink pens where you can like white out stuff, and I literally put the notes for each note on all the frets, and I just use it as my reference. That's what I did until I learned them. Okay. How long have I been playing? I've been playing for over 20 years. Do you have any issues with tuning, as in slipping? With PRS, you really don't, because they have locking keys. With my Fender, I had them set it up for me really well. And then my new LSL guitar that I'm getting, they're going to put locking keys on the back, so I don't have to worry about that as far as them slipping. Cool. I've heard that great guitar players can make any song sound amazing. True. What's a good guitar with great tone for a beginner that's around? I say get a Fender Squier, man. Like, start out with a Squier. You'd definitely be good in that ballpark. All right, I'll have an email. I'll check my emails a little bit later. Hi, just seeing this. All right, so the percussive sound that you want to get is kind of like while you're striking the instrument. You know, like. That's like me muting, like palming my strings, but I'm like using the percussive sound. I'm a fan of Gibson acoustics. I'm not a huge fan of Gibson guitars because the necks just feel really big and kind of blockish to me, but they're really cool when you play on tour. It just depends. So like when sometimes you're playing on tour, they have programming. So within the programming, it just depends on who the musical director is and like the versatility that you have with the artist that you get to be you. But sometimes it's kind of scripted so that way it sounds a certain way and it's not just like all over the place. People like consistency, you know what I mean? So Stanley, that's what I normally do when you're playing. What's up, Jason? Christopher? What guitar is that? This is a PRS 513. PRS 513. The reason why I call it a 513, 5 pickups with 13 different sounds. What else? Keyshawn, appreciate it. What's my favorite scale? I don't know that I have a favorite scale. Honestly, I don't. What else? This is, how do you know the chords? By listening to the songs. You have to work on ear training. So what essentially you need to do is you got to listen to a lot of records and break those records down. So when you hear certain chords, you know that, hey, that's a minor chord, that's a major chord. Okay, that's a minor 7, that's an E minor 7, that's an E flat, whatever the chord may be. It just takes time to really build your ear up to really know what that is. And thank you so much for actively teaching. No problem, Carlos. Please, how do you do those pull-offs and hammer-ons? All right, so pull-offs, let's say we're doing an A minor 11. So I'm doing like the hand. If I'm doing hammer-on exercise, I may start at the top right. Just so you build that muscle retention up in your hands. That's what you could probably practice on doing as far as that. Let me see what else. How do you get a studio session booked? Any good advice? Just let people know that, hey, you're available for bookings for studio sessions. That's what you can do if you're available for studio sessions. Let me see what else. What's one key piece of advice? You want to learn the names of the chords that you're playing. Learn your scales. Be efficient enough to where, like, if somebody says, give me an E major chord, you know how to play E major in various spots. You want to work on different voicings. George, I appreciate it, man. I really appreciate it. How do you get those 16th notes with your pinky while playing the chord progression? It's muscle retention, so you got to practice playing that hammer on multiple times. It's just a boring exercise, but it works. It pays off in the end. Thanks for sharing your knowledge. I appreciate it. How do you solo? Jason, I solo. It just depends on the nature of the song. Like I listen to like what the melody is in the song. I try to play what's melodic in the song because the guitar is a melodic instrument, like the saxophone. So I essentially try to act like I'm a singer when I'm soloing. One second, I had to tune up real quick. Let me see. Neil Carey, what's the most important scale? Learn a major scale, learn a minor scale, and then learn the pentatonic scale. I think those will help you get very far. There isn't like a most important, scale when you solo, like because of the guitar, you're a melodic instrument. So I would just say like, learn to really work on your ear so you can hear the different melodies that people sing or play. Can you play off ear? Yes, I can play off ear, Roberto. My tone has improved thanks to you. Oh man, I appreciate it, Sean. Can you show me a good lick? There's plenty of good licks. Stevie Ray Vaughan. I'm not very familiar, Hood Rat, with Stevie Ray Vaughan's music to like play it, because again, he's got such a signature sound that you don't want to like not play it right. So I'm not gonna tackle that. Can you play lead guitarist? Are you a lead guitarist or rhythm? I'm do both. It just depends on the gig. What's up, my people from Brazil? This is how hard is it to self-teach yourself? It's not very hard. It's just about the dedication that you wanna have in there when it comes to like learning material. Give yourself a week to learn like maybe 3 chords and like learn like how they sound. You know what I'm saying? Can you show that PR out for a sec? Looks insane. Yeah. So this is the 513. I call her Denim. It's a really cool guitar. Sounds great as well. Let me see what else. This is how would you use a 2-5-1-6. So 2, 5, 1, 6. So 2, we're in key of C. So 2 is that going to be that D minor 7, that 5, that G sus. 1 is going to be the C major 7. Then that 6 is going to be that A minor 11. Then we do that passing chord, that C diminished 7, C sharp diminished 7. Hope that helped you out with that movement. Let's see what else. Miami, Florida in the house. Thank you. I love to play R&B. Any advice? Listen to R&B records and just jam along with them. That's the best thing I could tell you to do. You know what I'm saying? Don't worry about. Cool. How fast can you play? Fast enough for the gig, man. That's what it. Whatever the gig requires, we play that fast. What are some easy R&B exercises? I've got plenty of stuff on YouTube that really show you. And if you guys have not signed up to my website, carry2smooth.com, do so. I've got plenty of stuff on that website that'll show you like really good R&B techniques that'll help you like really develop your playing. Let me see. A big all-in-one guitar processor, man. I used to I like them. I got the ME80, man. I think it's very versatile. The only thing that I do not like about sometimes the processors are like the overdrive tones are not as authentic. That's my only thing. I'm big on. I'm using my pedal board now. I think the tones are just a lot more pure and more like precise. Who are some of your greatest influences? Eric Walls, Tim Stewart are probably some of my biggest. Hello from France. Appreciate it. Oh man, appreciate the color. Yeah, the color is crazy. During the vamp parts of CCM, when the guitar is basically doing crazy, how do you approach that without sounding like you're doing too much? Hope that makes sense. All right, so if I'm doing like some CCM stuff and I'm soloing, so we're gonna be we'll do D. Everything is about placement. So it's about telling the story. Like when you talk and you want to communicate, you don't want to talk too fast for people to miss it. You want to take your time sometimes when you're approaching. So. take your time and facilitate the story. That's all you really want to do. Okay, cool. Hopefully that help. Recommendations for who? If you want to like learn some solos or whatever, transcribe. Go to soundslice.com. They got some really good stuff. Essentially, listening to terms of R&B. I like older stuff, but more. Any new artist that's really cool. I mean, honestly, man, if you I like Jagged Edge from back in the day. I like some D'Angelo stuff. I like John B. Like where they had like a lot of good stuff, like guitar stuff. That was really cool when you come in to learn R&B. Yep, I've played with Snarky Puppy. Can you play a bit of Puppy Love? Yeah, we can play a bit of Puppy Love. Just. That's a little bit of Puppy Love right there. For I can't remember who requested it, but that was for you. It says, when you're soloing, how do you? I use both. It just really depends. Just the context of what I'm soloing. I use both. You know, I don't know him personally, but I mean, I've heard of his music. He's a phenomenal guitarist. Like the stuff he can do is just insane. What frequency do I tweak my pedals? Honestly, I toy around with them until they sound good to me. That's all I really do. What's going on, Nick from India? I've never played the Fender Mustang GT 200, so I'm not really familiar. I can't really give you any kind of insight. What kind of? It says you were kind of digging in the strings while playing single notes lines. This is my picks are medium. I play with mediums. It says, do you play jazz? Jason, I do play jazz. Snarky Puppy. I've sat in with Snarky Puppy before. I played Quartermaster with them. Let me see. Take care. Appreciate it. How much is that PR? I didn't pay for it. It was gifted to me, so I don't know how much it costs. I would imagine it's probably like $3,000. Have you gone through slump periods where you feel like you haven't been progressing? Yes, I've had that moment. I mean, no matter where you are on guitar, you're gonna reach that at points and feel like you're not getting to where you want to get, or you're not sounding like how you want to sound. It just happens, but it's okay. You know what I mean? Don't quit. Just keep plucking away. Hello from Japan. Blues scales. This is how does it fit? It's just all about the approach. Like when you're playing like blues. Corey Henry is a beast. Let me see. The bands and the groups that I've played with Jason Derulo, I played with Tyrese, I played with Chrisette Michelle, I played with Lettucey, I played with Ty Dolla $ign, I played with Sean Kingston, I'm playing with V Bozeman, and a host of others like Sebastian Cole, a whole bunch of others, man. They play any funk every now and then. Greetings from Texas. Says, how do you organize? So if I'm organizing my guitar, Fernando, if I'm doing like guitar rehearsals or guitar practice, it just depends. If I got to play like for a show, if I'm just playing for a show, then I'm going to learn that music. I'm going to structure that music. But if I'm just playing to let's play, I may just focus on like chords here or solo here or whatever. Hey, here, just join. Oh man, I appreciate it. I appreciate all the fan love, fan love. What's this one? It says, how do you play a 2-chord jam? D major 7 to C. So D major 7, the 2 would be the E minor 7. That's a 2-chord jam for you right there. How do you get gigs like the artists you play for? Well, I had to move. I had to move to LA. You got to be talented. You got to have good people skills. Sometimes you got to move from your hometown and go to where all the gigs are. And I had to move to LA. So that was essentially playing in open mics, networking, being such for people, and that's how I got the call. How much do you charge to play on some record? DJ ZIOM TV. Just email me. Carry2smooth at gmail.com, and then I'll let you know. What's the questions? I'm trying to read these questions. I've been playing for a couple years now. For R&B, I would learn like some Ideal, Get Gone, some early Usher is some really good stuff. String gauge. I don't like flat, I like round, and I use 10s. Any tips to avoid hand injuries like tendonitis? Stretch before you play, and then like use these hand exercises to squeeze and strengthen your hands. That's what I would tell you. Let me see what else we got. I took lessons when I was at in high school. I didn't go to school for music. I went to school for criminal justice. But if you're serious about it and you think that those schools will help and enhance you, like MI or Berkeley, whatever, go. I mean, that's the only thing you can do is gain information. You know what I'm saying? It's not a bad idea, but those aren't the end all be all. I said email me, DJ, carry2smooth at gmail.com, and then I'll let you know. What's going on, Brazil? How many guitars do you take to a gig? All right, so if it's just like a local situation, I'm only taking a guitar. I'm only taking one. If it's a bigger gig where it's like an artist requires a lot of stuff, I may carry 2 guitars. But I generally try to travel with one guitar that I feel very comfortable with, that I feel very, that's very versatile and can handle the, the weight of that gig. Let me see, did I miss anything? Let me see if there's any questions. Do you write stuff? So yes, I write stuff. I've already dropped several albums. I have an album out on iTunes, Google Play, any like digital media outlet called No Ordinary Conversation. Then I have a single that's out called Puppy Love, on all digital media outlets that you can get. Last question. What amp? Man, for like a Fender DeVille. If you're able to get a Fender DeVille for a church gig, I think that'd be great. Also, too, for everybody that's joining in the room, if you haven't subscribed to my channel, please do so. Also, you can follow me on Instagram at Carry2Smooth, or on Facebook at Carry2Smooth. And if you haven't signed up to my website, go to my website, www.carry2smooth.com. Check it out. I've got some really great surprises that I got coming out for everybody on every level. It doesn't matter if you're beginner, it doesn't matter if you're intermediate or advanced. I got stuff for you. So please just keep checking it out. What are my guitar idols? That's a huge question. I find influences from a lot of different people, man. So like, I just can't really name one or two people. I mean, it's a host of people that help me kind of develop who I am, because I like just so many different things. What's your beginner start? A beginner should start with, number one, learning how to tune a guitar. 2, learn some of the basic chords like a C chord, a G chord, and a D chord. You do like an A minor. Those are like some good basic chords to learn. And then once you've learned those open voicings, like learn how to play like bar chords. That's really cool. What else? What's going on? Do you carry an acoustic guitar with you? If the gig requires it, like most gigs that I have are either acoustic or electric, so it just depends. I've only had one gig where it was both, and then in that particular, well, actually, I've had 2 gigs, and in that particular gig, I've carried both guitars. Let me see if there's anything else that I miss. Man, like I said, again, I appreciate everybody for being in this room. I appreciate all the love, all the energy, all the great questions. What are the best chord progressions for R&B? There aren't any best chord progressions for R&B, but like 2-3-6 is really cool. Or so 6, 3, 4, 2. Like I said, 2-3-6. 4, 6, 3, 7. There's so many different variations, but like I said again, I mean, hopefully you guys really enjoyed this. I'm going to get ready to hop off for a little bit, but I will be going to my YouTube page. It's at Carry2Smooth. I'm going to do another live session. And I'll be answering more of your questions, like for us R&B and various other things, and talking about different tones. Hope you guys have a good one, and I'll talk to you guys soon.